Let's shift backward in time and go to the life of Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam challenged Fir'aun even before receiving the message. He was against Fir'aun, although he was grown in the house of Fir'aun himself, yet he was against Fir'aun, against the oppression and the whole system of Fir'aun. And when he got engaged in a fight, he had to leave Midian, he had to leave the city, also he had to leave Egypt. And he ran away, he escaped. He was fleeing for his life. And then he reached a city called Midian, where he sees people, shepherds, are actually watering their sheep, except for 2 women. Now challenging Fir'aun and being against Fir'aun, although Musa alayhi salam had been brought up in the house of Fir'aun, took a lot of courage. It took a lot of heart, but he did it. And then Musa alayhi salam, when he saw 2 women keeping their sheep away from the water, he realized these women needed help. They needed help. They could not get themselves physically mixing up and pushing against men. He realized they needed help, so he approached them. He approached them and he said, why don't you guys water your sheep? They explained to him that we can't do it because men are competing over the water. We can't physically rub shoulders with men and physically push against them. And our father, just in case you think our father or our parents or whoever is in charge of us has left us to this duty, no, our father is too old and is too feeble and physically unable to look after the sheep, so we have to do it out of necessity. So Musa alayhi salam ventured. And it's not an easy task to take a herd of sheep and water them among such a great competition. So Musa alayhi salam took the sheep and he watered the sheep, and then he brought it back to the women. And that's service. That's concern for others. That's spending from yourself for others. Sacrificing from what you have for the sake of others. Sometimes putting others first and yourself second. Giving from what you have and what you need because you see someone else needs it more. And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises the Ansar. Allah says, وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةً. And they give others advantage over themselves. They give others priority over themselves, even though they are themselves in need. So you find in the life of Musa alayhi salam, these 2 traits show up again, courage and service. And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the mission to convey the message of truth to Fir'aun, Musa alayhi salam expressed his fear. Because we humans, we have fear. And courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. We all experience fear. It's a natural human feeling towards any kind of risk or threat. It's normal. If someone doesn't have fear, they need treatment. We all have fear. So Musa alayhi salam turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, realizing it's a danger. It's a risky situation. So he turns to Allah. He says, himself with his brother Harun, they say, قَالَ رَبَّنَا إِنَّنَا نَخَافُ أَن يَفْرُطَ عَلَيْنَا أَوْ أَن يَطْغَى. Oh Allah, that we fear Fir'aun is going to retaliate against Musa alayhi salam. He's going to express his anger against us and show his oppression and his power. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will be with you. Allah says, إِنَّنِي مَعَكُمَا أَسْمَعُ وَأَرَى. I am with you. I see and I hear what happens. So you're under my care. Don't worry about that. So Musa and Harun had to go against their fear. They had to step into their fear in order to convey the message to who? Fir'aun, who used to say, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. He used to say, I'm your Lord the Most High. I'm the one who's in charge of this whole world. And he killed his enemies. Not only his enemies, he killed the children of his enemies, lest they grow up to be adults and challenge his authority. So with Fir'aun, it's a matter of death straight away. But Musa and Harun, despite having the fear, they ventured into this fear and they jumped right into it because they put their trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it was all in service of the children of Israel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to save from the domination and the oppression of the Pharaoh. Let's look at Yusuf alayhi salam. Prophet